What's up, everyone? I'm James, and I'm getting ready to do a spoiler reaction to the Bad Batch Episode 8 Reunion. Before we get started, do me a quick favor. Grab the mouse, move along, and click the little thumbs up. That would help out a lot. I have a couple of questions for you guys at the end of the episode, so make sure you stick around to hear those so that you can put your answers in the comments. That would also be really great. And if you saw this like on Twitter or something like that, hey man, throw me a retweet or something like that. That would be great. Sharing is the best way to help the Resistance Broadcast and Star Wars Newsnet get the word out and grow. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, we're in spoiler territory right away. Wow, what an amazing episode, right? I can't believe that this had so many exciting parts in it. I was thinking like, oh wow, that was really cool. I'll be sure to mention that. Whoa! Like this was the first episode I legitimately was like, man, I kind of wish that I would have like an actual reaction kind of thing, because it would have caught some moments where I was legitimately like, no way. I was actually pretty pumped. I guess we'll get started right away just talking about the fact that they brought back Cad Bane. Like, that's going to be the takeaway from this episode. And that was my biggest reaction. I was like, just absolutely blown away when he came on the screen. And I did have an actual physical reaction to that. So the most interesting thing to me is like, I'm watching it play out and I'm like, I hear some music come in my head. I'm confident, by the way, that that's got to be like a Cad Bane theme and they brought it back for the show, right? But it didn't stick out to me immediately. And so they're moving up the character and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. We're about to get introduced to a new character that is going to be this cool like bounty hunter or you know, something that is going to be a long-term like character for the show, much like Rampart, like, you know, he's at the beginning of this episode as well. Kind of a character that's going to reoccur in this show, but it's new to this show. And as they're going up, I had this moment thinking like, or this could be a return character that we haven't seen in a while. And that's exactly what it was. He lifts up the hat thing and just, he says his line and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I like should have seen it coming. You know what I mean? They're talking about as long as the bounty hunters do their thing, which also side note, they said the contingency plan and stuff. I know that's not like the Emperor's contingency plan. It's their own thing, but I'm kind of interested in that. We'll get to that in a second. No, I mean, this was awesome. I loved the reveal. I love the idea that this character is going to be in it. I'm very excited for just people who have been fans of this character for a long time. That's awesome. Man, wow. Cad Bane was blown away. But yeah, let's talk about some other stuff that happened in the episode. Maybe we'll talk about Cad Bane again when he comes up. So yeah, the return of Cad Bane, that's sure. But Admiral Rampar and Crosshair coming in right away. Now that was interesting too, because I know last episode we had speculated, are we going to see Crosshair again? And it was kind of cool because it made me feel, we went back to Kamino. That's great. Like for some reason I was kind of like, oh, Kamino, all right, this is the show, this is the way it's going. And then we have moved away from that. It was nice to go back and be like, that's right, the Empire, the clones, all that stuff still happening on Kamino. What's going on there? I'm really interested. And I don't think to be honest, I don't think we've gotten enough of this Rampart character. I think that he could be really cool, although he seems kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like he's listening to, you know, the advice of these people and he just literally doesn't care. But he still seems young. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm kind of interested in growth in that character. Maybe he'll realize some mistakes and he'll become a more formidable threat down the line. But anytime there's someone who's been handed like this big opportunity by Tarkin in this case, you got to think that he is going to be important down the line. I would hate for it to just be like, why would Tarkin give it to this person and then just like bail, you know? Like, I think he sees something in this guy and obviously trusts him enough to handle this important task. I mean, the clones for the Empire right now are a big deal. So yeah. So anyway, I'm really excited about that character. I probably talked way too much about him, but the thing is like Return of Crosshair, and this is probably the more exciting character, I think, because he has actually been targeted as the main villain of the show. I would like to see him be that, because I would like to see, where does someone who is a good guy who's being manipulated end up? Is he a clone that's going to be turned again, or is he a clone that they're going to have to tragically kill? You know, I really like the idea that Crosshair's back, and he plays out that way in this episode where it seems like they're still kind of fighting for him. I love that. One quick moment that I wanted to talk about, just to kind of throw it in there, is that I really enjoyed the section where Omega was asking about what the war was like, and Tech gave a very standard answer. It proves that even though they are different than the clones, they and obviously even more so different than the clones in the sense that they are now kind of like on their own, free of the chip. It really goes to show that they still kind of come across as young. Is like, we have seen a lot of the galaxy, but we're still kind of built to be this. This is our understanding. This is our purpose. And they've said that a number of times we're soldiers. This is what we're meant to do. But this was kind of one of those things where it almost seemed childlike in the answer. You know what I mean? Like when you're asking somebody like a bigger question about life, and they're like, well, Santa Claus will take care of it, or something like that. And you're like, that's really cute. That's not really how the world works. You know, kind of there's more to it than that. And his understanding was just like, this giant galactic war was just a series of missions. You know what I mean? That's all really I understand it to be, and really doesn't have any sort of personal connection to the gravity of war. But anyway, it was a simple thing, just a simple answer to a question, but I liked it because I felt like there was a lot you could pull out of that. Now's a good opportunity to talk about that contingency plan that the Kaminoans are attempting to do. I don't know exactly what this is. I just think it's interesting because they're really showcasing how important getting Omega back is, and that pushes even further more that there's something really special about this kid, and I'm curious, you know, how that's going. Well, the Empire is looking to kill her. We need to get a bounty hunter back, but you know, maybe there's something even more in place. I've heard, you know, just like fan speculation and stuff, people like you guys putting in the comments and things. Is there a chance that she has her own like chip, or her own like thing that's going to cause her to come back on her own or something, kind of like a drone or something? Like when you lose control, like she just kind of automatically returns or something. I don't know. I'm interested to see where that is. The contingency plan for the Kaminoans, I don't know. But yeah, whatever that is, I'm excited to see what it is. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my favorite parts in this episode, because there were a ton of them. The first one just not right away, but I mean like when you see it, your jaw drops, and that's Crosshair walking off of his ship. Like there's this really awesome front shot of him coming off the ship, and they're kind of in silhouettes, and there's soldiers walking with him and stuff. And I mean, this is a week-to-week thing. This show's absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that everything is shot. And this one, I don't know, to me, I've seen other people mention specific episodes as being like their favorites. And I'm like, man, it even seems like the animators and stuff are pointing out why this one was so particular and great. And I'm not really seeing it. Like, I think it looks good, but I can't quite pinpoint what it is. This one to me seemed like extremely visual based, and I think it's just like some of the shots that they choose. There's another one too where it's like this really far away shot that reminds me of like Rey when she's like, you know, standing behind that big thruster or whatever. And obviously this is very similar, but they're going through and you can see the flashlights moving, and I'm like, this is cool. Just choices like that. It's not even that it's beautiful. It's just like the shot design is just right there. They know exactly where to shoot from a camera perspective that just really brings like this cool and epicness to a lot of the episode. When Crosshair does find them, they have this like standout moment, and I was actually starting to get stressed out because even more so than like when Wrecker was doing his Order 66 thing, there was something about Crosshair changing his mind and be like, turn your guns to the kid, and you like hear everybody shift. I mean, I was like, holy crap, like how are they going to get out of this? And it actually, I knew that like they were working on something with the guns and they were going to shoot them. I thought something was going to fall. And it turns out like when he turned on the gun and it like hit Crosshair, it was another like auditory, like actual reaction. I was like, holy crap. Like that was, I did not expect it. It took me by surprise, and I think that's exactly what they're going for, because you're kind of supposed to be like, and how are they going to get out of this? Crosshair's point of view, like they're stuck, nothing's going to happen. Boom, and he gets hit. Like I liked it a lot, and it obviously really messed him up too. We'll get to like I think what really messed him up at the end, but yeah, I like that scene a lot. And another one is the stormtrooper coming around the corner, and then all of a sudden he like hits you with the flamethrower. I was like shocked. I was like, holy crap, now there's a flamethrower guy, and it's right about to hit him. I know this one ended fast, and that was a little unfortunate, but I thought that was part of it. And the music, as it kicked in, there's like a hero theme, Bad Batch hero theme. Wrecker just grabs the thing and he like knocks the dude out, and they play this hero theme. And I'm like, man, I'm in it right now, man. I feel like they're trying to get away from Crosshair. It's a stressful situation. They're making their way through, and the hero theme is playing. I like this a lot. Big fun moment right there too. The ion cannon thing is kind of like its own big story, right? It's like a mini movie within itself. It's just they get in there and it's this huge thing, and like I said earlier, it reminds me a lot of Rey, and the size comparison to a person and one of these ships. It's just huge, and there's a lot to be said about that. But when they get to the end of that, to the corner, or the edge, I should say, Crosshair's there, and they go, we got to double back. I'm like, you got to double back? You're going back? And they obviously get pinned in as the thing turns on. Beautiful animation of it firing and stuff. Like, man, like multiple times in this episode, I'm like, they are trapped. I don't know what they're going to do to get out of this. And they quickly find a way, lining the edges up, blowing it up, writing it down. That is one idea of how it's going to work, but when it plays out in practice, like you notice that it then offsets which direction the cannon is shooting, and it is like this bigger deal of all of a sudden it felt to me like you had a lot of control over where that cannon, they're just going to turn it on. We know exactly what's going on. But as soon as that was broken and the cannon was almost like pointed in a different direction, it felt like it was loose and it was on fire. Like, I understand how a propane tank works. I just knocked off the top and it's like shooting around the room or something. It felt out of control, and obviously really affected Crosshair, because when they show him at the end of the episode, man, he's on the mask. He's got the bandages. He's still in the fight, which I think is great. But man, he looks really messed up, and I like how much that set forth where the speculation can go from here. And then we get to Cad Bane. They get up there, the clones are disabled, and I'm like, man, I wonder what's going on here. I talked about it at the beginning of this episode. The way they pan up to reveal Cad Bane, he's back baby, I guess. That's our thing at Resistance Broadcast. He's back, baby. But no, I love that. That's great. And there also this quick draw scene was intense, and I couldn't believe, I was like, he just shot Hunter. Like, your brain starts running. You're like, there's no way Hunter's dead, right? But I'm watching it and I'm like, he just shot him in the chest and he's laying on the ground and he's not moving. So what does that mean? And actually it kind of, I don't know. I almost wish they kind of did something different, because that should be a kill shot. I'm just going to say that. That should have been a kill shot. He should be dead. And they just go, oh, he woke up later. Like as if he was knocked out from that or something. But it's like, no, he'd be dead. Like, I don't know. He's like actively like, oh, we gotta find her. The bounty hunter took her. Like, you should be dead. So, they should have shot him in the head, or I don't know, something. I like the draw, the quick draw shootout thing, but I mean, Cad Bane killed him, but he's still alive. So I don't know. That doesn't really explain. I do like the first person view mode thing. That was really cool. And it felt intense. It reminded me of like watching like a Halo commercial or something like that. Like there was something about the way they're lifting him up, and it felt like it was really in the action. And I think had a lot probably to do with the sound design. I am watching kind of in a stereo system, so there's something about like the sound and how it was being manipulated, and then the gunfire coming from my left and my right and stuff. It did feel very personal, and I like the choice of direction there for how they were going to control the camera and stuff. That was cool. That is it. Again, my review of this is probably best episode yet of the series. And that isn't just because of Cad Bane showing up. I think there was a lot to this. I like the cinematography. First time, I mean, loosely, but first time the music has actually like stood out to me on a couple occasions. I've been like, wow, they nailed it. Some cool, just different shot choices. It's not just how beautiful it looked, but like specifically shot choices. Multiple times where I felt like I was in a tense situation. I wasn't sure how they were going to get out. And even on top of that, like multiple times I was legitimately vocally like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that just happened on screen. So I got to give this one like, one of the top accolades of the series so far. This was a great episode. Couple questions for you guys. Just if you could, just leave them in the comments section. I want to know what you guys are thinking about this episode. The first one right away is just what do you guys think of Rampar, and do you think that he is going to be a successful villain in this show? Do you think there's any chance that he will actually play out to be a good villain under the I guess authority of Tarkin? Tarkin put him in that position, and we haven't seen a lot of him other than to make like silly mistakes, kind of leading the story on. Do you actually think that there's potential with that villain? And do you think that he's going to be pretty formidable, and we're going to be like, wow, this guy sucks, like later down the line in this series? I don't know. What do you think? Next thing is like, I know we've talked about this a million times, but like, why is Omega so important? Why is there a contingency plan to bring her back? And how do you think that's going to implement when they inevitably have to do it? I mean, they have the bounty hunters coming after her, but in the case that the bounty hunters aren't working, do you think that she has like some sort of like auto return function that they could activate that, maybe not be a good thing, like maybe it messes with her personality or something like that. They don't want to do that. Or do you think there's any chance that she has just like a self-destruct thing where like, look, we need her back and we can't let her really fall into the hands of other people. So maybe she just has like a terminate, like, erase my iPhone kind of thing. I don't think they're going to do that, but I would like to hear what you guys think about how they plan on bringing her back beyond just hiring a bounty hunter and hoping that they do their job. The last thing I want to know is about Cad Bane. Like, how long do you think this character is going to stick it out? Because we got Rex really for one episode, and we're kind of speculating that he's going to come back. But at this point, we got Cad Bane at the end of this episode, and we will obviously very likely get him in the next episode as well. Do you think that he's going to be not returning character, but like reoccurring, like he will continue to be in the show for multiple episodes? And a little follow-up to that too, do you think that there's a chance that Cad Bane will actually fight with the Bad Batch? Like something will play out where, you know, I don't think it's like out of the goodness of his hearts, but the story will come down to, it'll be Cad Bane fighting with the Bad Batch on their side for a common goal. I'd like to know that. What would you guys think on that? That's it, guys. We're done. Great episode. Loved it. And if you guys could like the video, leave the comments like I was just talking about. I ask you a couple questions. Let's get to know each other. Let's hang out, chat. Comment on other people's comments. If you see something that you want to say, engage with them, make a friend, hang out. That's what we're here for. If you're not subscribed to the show, that would be great. Resistance Broadcast is regularly putting out 2 episodes a week, and Star Wars Newsnet just has constant content all the time, not only here but on the website. If you're a Star Wars fan, you got to go to StarWarsNewsNet.com. It's the place to go. Until next week, when we see Cad Bane again, like 100% most likely. I'll see you then.